So printing with Meshmixer isn't actually done in Meshmixer, but we do need to set up the printer in Meshmixer so it formulates our slicing a little bit better and exports a better file. So if we go to Meshmixer and Preferences, and we select the Printers tab, what I would suggest is to untick all the printers that you don't have and set up a new one. So you can do that by hitting Add a New Printer. I'm going to show you the settings that I've used for mine. So I'm going to hit View Properties, and if you hit the Add a New Printer and you've added in these settings, and I'll have the screenshot available of this, but basically this is an XYZ printer. I just called it XYZ. It uses extrusion. The material that it uses is ABS, so that's all you really need to have ticked there. And the rest of these units come from the dimensions directly from the product details on their website. So I've scrolled down, and the dimensions come from here, the maximum build volume. So I've used the units here in centimeters. So if I'm back in Meshmixer, what I've done is I've set my width to 20, my depth to 20, my height to 15. My thickness threshold, I've been using 1. I don't know if that's the best setting. So that might have some things that are that can be changed, but at this stage it works for me on that setting. So back here in Meshmixer, if I've set up my printer and that's okay, I'm going to now import an object. So it gives me different options here. I can pull things from my 123D cloud. I can open a rendered file, or I can just hit import an STL file. So I'm just going to import, and I'm going to grab myself a R2D2 STL file. So this is just a USB pen. Alright, so I've got two pieces here. I've got his head, and I've got his body. So if I select both in the object browser, and I'm just going to move them around a little bit, so they're both around. So I'm just going to hit the Edit, Transform, and then I'm going to move them back into space a little bit. So if I orbit around, the bottom says that it's still on a MakerBot. So I just want to change that down to my XYZ. So now I have, all I've done here, I'm just going to back up here. I've just gone down to my print button after I've set up my printer, and here's my XYZ printer bed showing up. So I've got my two objects here. I've got R2D2 and his head. There's two files, right? And I want to have them both selected because they're both in the stage, right? So the next bit, what I want to do is I want to go back here. Instead of printing it directly, I'm going to hit export. I'll go back to the printing actually option instead of export. So now I've got these two objects in here. I can transform them around still. I can move them individually within that. I can scooch them around. I can also repair the model here. It already says that it's done. If I've got bits that are not flat or might have overhangs, I can hit Add Supports, and it calculates to see if it needs any supports for any objects. So when I did that, it went through and it thought that it needed some supports on this back side. It seems like it has valid supports. These supports normally are easy to remove with a scalpel or whatever. I don't necessarily know if those are really needed, but hey, they're there. All right. So once this is all happy, I can select both of them, and then I can hit Send to Printer. So with the XYZ, it won't actually send it directly to them. So what I have to do is I have to hit Save to File. So now I'm just going to save them on my desktop. Now I would jump over to the XYZ application, and I can close out that lovely little prompt, and then I can hit the down button here. I go back down to my desktop, and then I've got my 3 options here. It's a demo combined, and then the 2 pieces to my demo. So if I click on that, it should open both of them in the same sphere. At this stage now, I can actually change around with my printer where they're going to land, but I can also tell which extruder we're using for the ABS. And normally it will update the color. All right, so I've got those in there, and I can now, with my printer connected, send this print job. I've never been using good quality, but the advantage of exporting them and slicing them in, or running the export through Meshmixer, is that it tends to slice the object a little bit faster, and it tends to import a little bit better. And you can also see now that I've sent it to the printer that it's slicing it and change the color, because I have white loaded in my printer's second bay. Okay, so my slicing is now complete, and I can send this to the printer now just by hitting the print button, and then otherwise I can save and cancel the print. So I'm going to print this, and now it's transmitting, and the transmission tends to be a little bit quicker as well working in this method. So sometimes if the print job does not want to send for whatever reason, sometimes powering the printer down and repowering it tends to fix the problem. And that time it took nicely. Using this procedure should speed up and improve your method for getting 3D models into the XYZ 3D printer. Hopefully you have better results like I have. It's not foolproof, and there will be things that don't work. But best of luck, and happy 3D printing!